The SS Expanse maintained a steady orbit around Zeta 9, its sensors probing the planet's unique atmosphere. Captain Guy Sullivan studied the holographic display, his eyes narrowing at the intriguing data streaming in. The planet's atmosphere showed promising signs of complex organic compounds, hinting at the potential for life. "These readings are fascinating," Dr. Brenda Silva, the ship's exobiologist, remarked. "The combination of gases and organic molecules suggests an environment that could support complex life forms. It's unlike anything we've encountered before, but it's within the realm of what we theorized might exist." The bridge crew worked diligently, each member focused on their specialized tasks. Lieutenant Commander Grant, head of security, kept a vigilant eye on the tactical displays, running routine scans of the surrounding space. The ship's AI processed the incoming data, comparing it to known exoplanets and theoretical models. Through the observation windows, Zeta 9's surface remained obscured by thick cloud cover, its patterns hinting at dynamic weather systems. Engineering Officer Thompson monitored the ship's systems, ensuring optimal performance in the planet's gravity well. Communications Officer Lisa Parker maintained an open channel, her trained ear attuned to any anomalies in the cosmic background noise. Suddenly, an alert cut through the focused atmosphere of the bridge. "Captain, unidentified object detected at bearing 047, reported Lieutenant Wilson from the sensor station. "It's just appeared on our long-range scanners." Sullivan straightened in his chair. "Classification?" "Unable to determine, sir. It's not matching any known signatures in our database." Wilson's fingers danced across his console. "The object is accelerating. Its trajectory suggests deliberate movement." The tactical display showed the object's approach vector. Its speed and maneuverability were impressive, surpassing standard human spacecraft capabilities. Grant activated the ship's defensive systems as a precautionary measure, a decision Sullivan acknowledged with a nod. "New data incoming," Dr. Silva called out, her voice tense with excitement. "The object's mass and energy signature suggest artificial construction. Sir, this appears to be a vessel of non-human origin." A hush fell over the bridge. After years of space exploration and countless missions, they were potentially facing the moment humanity had long speculated about: first contact. "Full sensor sweep. I want every piece of data we can gather," Sullivan ordered, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Maintain our position and current orbit. Let's not make any moves that might be interpreted as aggressive." The unknown vessel continued its approach, its design becoming clearer on their screens. The craft had an unconventional structure that differed from human spacecraft design principles. Its hull material seemed to have unique properties, absorbing and reflecting light in ways that suggested advanced engineering. "Sir, they're decelerating," Wilson reported. "They're assuming a parallel orbit, approximately 20 miles from our position." Through the observation windows, the alien vessel became visible to the naked eye. Its size was comparable to the Expanse, perhaps slightly larger. The design was sleek and efficient, hinting at a civilization with a deep understanding of space travel. "They're launching something," Grant announced, his hand hovering over the weapon's controls. "Multiple smaller objects. They appear to be some kind of landing craft." The crew watched as several smaller vessels detached from the main ship, descending toward Zeta 9's surface. Their movement patterns displayed precision and coordination. "Dr. Silva, focus our atmospheric sensors on their landing zone. Commander Grant, maintain defensive readiness but keep our weapon systems powered down," Sullivan ordered. "Let's see what they're doing before we make any assumptions. Parker, monitor all frequencies for any attempts at communication." The landing craft pierced through Zeta 9's atmosphere with apparent ease, suggesting advanced navigation systems. They touched down in a formation that spoke of careful planning and coordination. "Initiating long-range scans of the landing site," Dr. Silva reported. Her console displayed streams of data as the ship's sensors focused on the area. "Sir, I'm detecting movement. They're emerging from their vessels." The sensor feeds revealed figures moving with purpose around their landed craft. Their forms were humanoid, but with proportions that clearly marked them as non-human. They carried objects that could be scientific instruments or possibly weapons. The distance made it difficult to determine with certainty. "Energy signatures detected from their equipments," Wilson called out. "They're conducting some kind of survey. Wait." His console flashed with new alerts. "They've just activated something. Energy readings are increasing." The alien devices began emitting patterns of energy that interfered with the Expanse's sensors. Sullivan watched as the readings became increasingly complex, suggesting technology designed for detailed environmental analysis. "They've detected us," Grant announced, his voice tense. "Their equipment just oriented toward our position. Energy signatures are changing." The alien figures below suddenly halted their activities. Their movements became more deliberate, more cautious. They began repositioning themselves around their vessels, taking up what appeared to be defensive positions. "Sir, they're powering up their ship's systems," Wilson reported urgently. "Energy signatures suggest increased power to their defensive systems. Their main vessel is also showing increased energy outputs." The situation had shifted from a moment of discovery to a potential standoff. Sullivan assessed their options, knowing that humanity's first contact hung in the balance. The crew waited in tense silence, their hands hovering over their stations, ready to respond to whatever came next. Sullivan's mind raced through diplomatic protocols and first contact scenarios. They had trained for this, but the reality of the situation far surpassed any simulation. He knew his next decisions would be crucial, not just for the Expanse and her crew, but potentially for the future of human-alien relations. "Maintain our current position," Sullivan commanded, his tone unwavering. "Continue passive scans, but do not initiate any active measures. Let's see how they respond to our presence." Dr. Silva's eyes remained fixed on her console, analyzing the incoming data. "Captain, their defensive posture seems to be purely precautionary. No offensive systems have been activated as far as we can detect." Grant nodded in agreement, but remained vigilant. "It's a logical response to an unknown entity, sir. They're likely as cautious about us as we are about them." The bridge crew watched intently as the alien vessels on the surface maintained their defensive positions. The main ship in orbit made no aggressive moves, but kept its systems at heightened readiness. "Captain," Wilson called out, "I'm detecting subtle changes in their energy signatures. It appears they're conducting more detailed scans of our vessel and the surrounding space." Sullivan leaned forward in his chair, eyes narrowed in concentration. "They're trying to figure us out, just as we're doing to them. Keep our shields at current strength, but make no moves that could be interpreted as hostile." The tense standoff continued, with both sides warily observing the other. The crew of the Expanse remained at high alert, each member acutely aware of the historical significance of this moment. As minutes ticked by, the alien presence maintained its defensive posture, neither escalating nor backing down. The Expanse held its position, a silent sentinel in the face of the unknown. The bridge of the Expanse fell into a focused silence, broken only by the soft beeps of consoles and the low hum of the ship's systems. Every crew member knew that their actions in these crucial moments could shape the course of human history. The silence on the bridge of the SS Expanse was shattered by a sudden, urgent alert from the sensor station. Lieutenant Wilson's voice cracked with shock as he reported, "Captain, new contact emerging from behind Zeta 9's largest moon." All eyes snapped to the main view screen as a massive vessel materialized from the planet's shadow. Its design was alien, yet distinctly different from the first ship they had encountered. The new arrival dwarfed both the Expanse and the original alien vessel, its hull bristling with what unmistakably looked like weapon ports. "Full sensor sweep now," Captain Sullivan barked, his calm demeanor giving way to urgent command. "Grant, battle stations. Thompson, divert all non-essential power to shields and engines." The bridge erupted into a flurry of activity. Crew members' fingers flew across consoles, preparing the ship for potential combat. The air crackled with tension as the Expanse's systems hummed to life, ready to face this new, unknown threat. Before anyone could fully process the situation, the newly arrived alien ship opened fire on the first alien vessel. Brilliant beams of energy lanced out, striking the smaller ship with pinpoint accuracy. The attacked vessel's shields flared brightly, barely holding against the onslaught. "My God," Dr. Silva whispered, her eyes wide with horror and fascination. "They're not allies. We're witnessing an interspecies conflict." Sullivan leaned forward in his chair, his knuckles white as he gripped the armrests. "Wilson, give me a damage assessment on the attacked ship. Parker, any communications between the vessels?" Wilson's voice was grim as he reported. "The smaller ship's shields are failing, sir. They've already taken hull damage. At this rate, they won't last more than a few minutes." Parker shook her head, her expression tense. "No clear communications, Captain. But I'm picking up a cacophony of signals. It's like screaming, sir. Electronic screaming." The bridge fell silent for a moment as the implications sank in. They were witnessing not just an attack, but potentially a massacre. The battle continued to rage, a brutal display of advanced weaponry and tactics. The larger ship methodically targeted key systems on the smaller vessel, disabling its engines and weapons with surgical precision. Explosions bloomed silently in the vacuum of space, debris spinning away from the stricken ship. "Sir," Grant spoke up, his voice tight with tension, "what are our orders? Do we intervene?" Sullivan's mind raced, weighing the monumental decision before him. Interfering meant potentially dragging humanity into an interstellar conflict they knew nothing about. Staying out of it meant watching a potential genocide unfold before their eyes. "Dr. Silva, what can you tell me about these species based on what we're seeing?" Sullivan asked, buying time to think. Silva's fingers danced across her console, analyzing the flood of data. The attacking ship's technology is more advanced, but not overwhelmingly so. Their tactics suggest a militaristic culture, efficient and ruthless. The defending ship, their movements are more erratic, desperate. They seem to be more focused on evasion than counterattack. As she spoke, the Expanse's AI began processing the signals detected by Parker. Complex algorithms sifted through the electronic noise, searching for patterns, for meaning in the alien transmissions. Sullivan stood up, pacing the bridge as he contemplated their next move. The crew watched him, the weight of humanity's first major interstellar decision hanging in the air. "We can't just sit here and watch this happen," Thompson muttered from his station, voicing what many were thinking. Grant countered, "With all due respect, sir, we don't know the situation. For all we know, we could be witnessing the takedown of a criminal or hostile force." Sullivan stopped his pacing, turning to face his crew. "We're here to explore, to learn, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. But we're also here to represent the best of humanity." He paused, his gaze sweeping across the bridge. "And humanity doesn't stand by while the strong obliterate the weak without just cause." He turned to Grant. "Commander, prepare our weapon systems. We're not going to fire the first shot, but I want us ready to defend ourselves and the smaller vessel if necessary." "Aye, sir," Grant replied, a mix of apprehension and determination in his voice as he began the weapons prep sequence. "Thompson, plot an intercept course. I want us between those two ships." Sullivan's voice was firm, brooking no argument. "Parker, prepare a broad-spectrum transmission. Universal greeting protocols, all languages. Let's make our presence known." As the crew scrambled to execute his orders, the AI chimed in. Its synthetic voice was calm amidst the tension. "Captain, preliminary analysis of the intercepted signals complete. While full translation is impossible at this time, I've identified patterns consistent with distress calls and pleas for assistance." Sullivan nodded grimly. "Looks like we made the right call. All right, people, this is it. Humanity's first intervention in an alien conflict. Let's show them what we're made of." The Expanse surged forward, its engines flaring brilliantly as it maneuvered between the two alien vessels. The attacking ship, momentarily confused by this new development, ceased fire. "We're in position, Captain," Thompson reported, directly between the two ships. "Shields at maximum. Weapons hot but safetied," Grant added. Sullivan took a deep breath, straightening his uniform. Parker, open a channel. Let's introduce ourselves to the neighborhood. As Parker worked to establish communication, the bridge crew of the Expanse stood tall, ready to face whatever came next. In this moment, they weren't just explorers or scientists. They were the vanguard of humanity. The attacking ship loomed on the view screen, its weapons still powered, now oriented towards the Expanse. The smaller vessel, battered and sparking, limped behind the human ship, using it as a shield. Sullivan stepped forward, his voice clear and unwavering as he addressed the unknown aliens. This is Captain Guy Sullivan of the Earthship SS Expanse. We are here on a mission of peaceful exploration. We request that you cease your attack immediately and open a dialogue. We are prepared to mediate any dispute between your peoples. For a long, tense moment, there was no response. The Expanse hung in space, a comparatively tiny vessel defying a far superior force. Then, suddenly, a harsh, guttural sound erupted from the ship's speakers. Parker winced, adjusting the audio. I think it's their language, sir. The AI is working on it, but it'll take time to decipher. Before Sullivan could respond, the attacking ship's weapons powered up again, this time targeting the Expanse. Evasive maneuvers, Sullivan shouted. Grant return fire, disabling shots only, target their weapon systems. The space around the Expanse erupted into chaos. The human ship darted and weaved with an agility that seemed to surprise the alien vessel. Energy beams lanced out, most missing the nimble Earthship, but those that hit were absorbed by the shields, which flared brilliant blue with each impact. Grant's hands flew over his console, directing the Expanse's weapon systems with precision. Pulses of energy shot out, striking the alien ship's weapon ports. The shots weren't enough to cripple the larger vessel, but they disrupted its firing pattern, buying precious seconds. Sir, Wilson called out. The smaller ship is moving. They're using our distraction to escape. Sullivan nodded grimly. Good. Keep them off balance, Grant. Thompson, keep us between that ship and their target as long as you can. The battle continued, with the Expanse dancing through space, its maneuvers unlike anything the alien ship seemed prepared for. Human ingenuity and adaptability shone as the crew worked in perfect sync, adjusting their tactics on the fly. Captain, the AI's voice cut through the chaos. I've made progress on the translation. The attacking ship is demanding the surrender of the smaller vessel. They're calling them heretics and abominations. Sullivan's eyes narrowed. Religious persecution? Or is it a cover for something else? He shook his head. Doesn't matter right now. We've made our choice. Parker, open a channel to the ship we're defending. Tell them to get out of here. We'll cover their retreat. As Parker relayed the message, the smaller alien ship began to pull away, its engines straining. The attacking vessel, realizing its quarry was escaping, renewed its assault with increased ferocity. Shields at 60% and dropping, sir, Thompson reported, his voice strained. We can't take much more of this. Sullivan's mind raced, searching for a solution. They were outgunned, outmassed, but not outsmarted. Not yet. Grant, target their propulsion systems. Thompson, on my mark, I want you to cut all non-essential power and drift. Make them think we're more damaged than we are. The crew looked at him with a mix of confusion and trust. Sullivan allowed himself a grim smile. Let's show these aliens why you don't underestimate humans. As the Expanse took another hit, rocking the bridge, Sullivan gave the order. Now! The ship's lights dimmed, and it began to list in space, apparently crippled. The attacking vessel, sensing victory, moved in closer to finish off the troublesome human ship. Hold, Sullivan commanded, tension evident in his voice. Hold, now, all power to weapons and engines. The Expanse roared back to life, surging forward with unexpected speed. Before the alien ship could react, the human vessel unleashed a barrage of precisely targeted shots. The alien's propulsion systems exploded in a brilliant flash, leaving the massive ship adrift. Direct hit! Grant exclaimed, a note of triumph in his voice. Their main engines are offline. A cheer went up on the bridge, quickly silenced by Sullivan's raised hand. "Good work, everyone. But we're not out of this yet. Status of the ship we defended." The silence on the bridge was broken only by the soft hum of ship systems. Sullivan watched the disabled alien vessel, knowing their mission had just become far more complicated than a simple defensive maneuver. "Prepare long-range scanners," he ordered. "We need to understand what we've just walked into." A brief moment of calculation passed before the next phase of their unexpected encounter would begin. As the Expanse accelerated away from the scene of their first interstellar intervention, Captain Sullivan's mind was already racing ahead to their next move. The alien aggressor, though disabled, was far from neutralized. And the ship they had saved, along with whatever conflict they had stumbled into, was still out there. "Thompson, bring us about," Sullivan ordered, his voice cutting through the tense silence on the bridge. "We're not out of this yet." The helmsman's fingers danced across his console, and the starfield on the main view screen shifted as the Expanse executed a graceful turn. The disabled alien vessel loomed into view once more, its massive hull now marred by the scorch marks of the Expanse's precise strikes. "Sir?" Grant questioned, his hand hovering over the weapons controls. Sullivan's eyes narrowed as he studied the alien ship. "We've shown them we can bite. Now let's show them we can think." "Dr. Silva, what can you tell me about their hull composition based on our sensor data?" Silva's fingers flew across her station as she analyzed the incoming data. "It's a polyalloy, Captain, highly resistant to energy weapons, but..." Her eyes widened slightly. "There are distinct variations in density. The hull isn't uniform." A small smile played at the corner of Sullivan's mouth. "Exactly what I was hoping to hear. Grant, reconfigure our weapons. I want precision strikes, minimum yield, maximum frequency variation. Target those density changes." Grant nodded, quickly adjusting the weapon systems. "Ready, sir, but I'm not sure what this will accomplish against their armor." "We're not trying to punch through," Sullivan explained, his eyes never leaving the view screen. "We're going to ring their bell." As the crew watched in anticipation, the Expanse unleashed a barrage of seemingly ineffective shots against the alien vessel. Each blast was precisely targeted at the areas of changing hull density that Silva had identified. To an outside observer, it might have looked like the human ship was wasting its ammunition. But Sullivan knew better. Each shot, carefully calibrated, sent vibrations through the alien ship's hull. Individually, they were harmless. But as they continued, the frequencies began to compound and resonate. "Sir," Wilson called out from his station, "I'm detecting power fluctuations throughout their ship. Their systems are destabilizing." Sullivan nodded grimly. "Sound waves, gentlemen. We're not trying to break their hull. We're disrupting everything inside it." The alien vessel began to visibly shudder, its lights flickering erratically. Small explosions blossomed across its surface as internal systems overloaded and failed. "They're powering up their engines," Thompson reported, a note of alarm in his voice. "They're trying to move." "Perfect," Sullivan said, a predatory gleam in his eye. "Thompson, plot an intercept course. Get us close. I mean, real close. I want our hull paint scratching theirs." The Expanse surged forward, closing the distance to the massive alien ship with startling speed. As they approached, the scale difference became even more apparent. The human vessel was dwarfed by its adversary. "Sir, if they power up their weapons at this range," Grant began, but Sullivan cut him off. "They won't. They can't risk damaging themselves." "Thompson, execute attack pattern Sullivan Alpha." The Expanse suddenly cut its main engines, inertia carrying it forward. Maneuvering thrusters fired in a complex sequence, sending the ship into a controlled tumble that brought it perilously close to the alien vessel's hull. "What the hell are we doing?" someone muttered, voicing the thought on everyone's mind. Sullivan's voice was calm as he explained. "We're in their blind spot now. Their weapons can't track us this close, and our tumble makes us almost impossible to hit even if they could, but we can still hit them." As if on cue, Grant opened fire once more. This time, the Expanse's weapons struck with pinpoint accuracy, targeting crucial external systems on the alien ship. Communication arrays, sensor nodes, and auxiliary power units exploded in quick succession. The alien vessel, caught completely off guard by these unconventional tactics, began to list heavily to one side. Its attempts to bring weapons to bear on the Expanse were clumsy and ineffective, each shot going wide as the human ship continued its unpredictable tumble. "Sir," Parker called out, her voice tight with concentration. "I'm picking up transmissions from the alien ship. They sound confused, almost panicked." Sullivan nodded. "They expected an easy fight. Instead, they got us. Keep at it, people. Let's show them what humanity can do." The battle continued, with the Expanse darting in and out of the alien ship's defensive envelope. Each pass brought more precision strikes, more systems offline. It was like watching a swarm of angry bees taking down a bear, individually insignificant, but overwhelming in their coordinated assault. Suddenly, a massive energy surge emanated from the alien vessel. "Captain!" Wilson shouted. "They're charging their main weapon array. Energy readings are off the charts." Sullivan's eyes widened for a moment before narrowing in determination. "They're getting desperate. Thompson, get us out of here. Maximum thrust." The Expanse's engines roared to life, catapulting the ship away from its massive adversary, just as a colossal beam of energy lanced out from the alien vessel. The blast missed the agile human ship by mere meters, the residual energy making the Expanse's shields flare brilliantly. But the aliens had made a critical error. The energy required for such a massive attack had drained their already taxed systems. As the beam dissipated, their ship began to drift, its lights flickering and dying. "Their power grid is collapsing," Silva reported, a note of awe in her voice. "They've burned out their own systems." Sullivan allowed himself a small, grim smile. Sometimes the biggest gun isn't the answer, especially when your opponent knows how to make you pull the trigger at the wrong time. As the alien vessel drifted, its systems failing, a sudden burst of energy signaled a last-ditch effort. The ship's engines flared to life, and it began to accelerate away from the Expanse, trailing debris and flickering lights. "They're retreating," Wilson reported, his eyes glued to the sensor readings. "Their FTL drive is powering up." Sullivan watched the view screen intently. "Let them go. We've done enough damage. Our priority now is to understand what just happened." The alien ship, now a shadow of its former self, vanished into the depths of space, leaving the Expanse alone in the aftermath of the battle. The bridge crew watched in stunned silence as the once mighty alien vessel now floated helplessly in space, occasional explosions still rippling across its hull as overloaded systems gave out. "Sir," Grant said, breaking the silence. "What now? Do we finish them off?" Sullivan shook his head. "No, we've neutralized the threat. That's enough." He turned to Parker. "Open a channel to that ship. Let's see if they're ready to talk now." As Parker worked to establish communication, Sullivan addressed his crew. "What we've done here today goes beyond just winning a fight. We've shown that humanity can stand toe-to-toe with advanced species and come out on top. Not through brute force, but through ingenuity, adaptability, and teamwork." As the echoes of battle faded into the void of space, the bridge of the SS Expanse hummed with a new kind of intensity. Captain Sullivan's voice, firm yet tinged with anticipation, cut through the air. "Parker, status on that communication channel?" "Open and stable, sir," Parker replied, her fingers dancing across her console. "But it's just static on their end. No response yet." Sullivan nodded, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Keep it open. They might be licking their wounds, but they'll talk eventually. They have to." As if in response to his words, the ship's AI chimed in, its synthetic voice carrying an unusual note of urgency. "Captain, I've isolated several key frequency patterns from the alien transmissions, commencing deep analysis now." The main view screen flickered to life, displaying a dizzying array of waveforms and data streams. To the untrained eye, it was a chaotic mess, but to the crew of the Expanse, it represented their first real chance at understanding their alien encounters. Dr. Silva leaned forward, her brow furrowed in concentration. Interesting. These patterns are quite complex. The linguistic structure is certainly different from anything in our current databases. Even in the face of potential interstellar conflict, the spirit of scientific discovery burned bright in his crew. Focus on decrypting any tactical or strategic information first, Sullivan ordered. We need to understand the bigger picture here. As the AI worked tirelessly to decode the alien transmissions, the crew of the Expanse remained on high alert. The disabled alien vessel loomed in their view screen, a silent reminder of the precipice on which they stood, pioneers of humanity's first interstellar conflict resolution. Hours ticked by, feeling like an eternity. The bridge crew rotated shifts, but Sullivan remained at his post, his eyes never leaving the slowly evolving data on the main screen. Suddenly, the AI's voice broke the tense silence. "Captain, preliminary decryption complete. I've managed to translate approximately 23% of the intercepted communications." Sullivan straightened in his chair. "Let's hear it." The speakers crackled to life, filling the bridge with a mix of alien sounds and choppy, computer-generated translations. The AI's voice clarified. "Captain, these are fragments from the aggressor ship's transmissions during the battle." The translation continued. "Renegades must be stopped. Equilibrium threatened. Unknown vessel. Reassess situation." Sullivan's eyes narrowed. "So that's what our friends were saying about the ship we defended." The crew exchanged glances, a mix of confusion and concern on their faces. Grant's hand instinctively moved towards the weapons console, but Sullivan held up a hand, silencing any potential outbursts. "Continue, AI," he ordered, his voice steady. More translations trickled in, offering glimpses into a complex situation. The aliens they had defended were clearly fleeing, but the reasons seemed more nuanced than a simple pursuit. Words like research, unauthorized access, and protocol violation appeared frequently in the decoded transmissions. "Dr. Ryu," Silva's eyes widened as she pieced together the fragments of information. "Captain, I think these ships were engaged in some kind of research mission. The conflict we witnessed, it seems to be about the data they've collected." Sullivan's mind raced, processing this new information. What kind of research could lead to such a violent confrontation? The AI chimed in again. "Based on the decoded transmissions, it appears that both alien factions were conducting studies in this relatively unexplored sector of space. Their encounter with us was entirely unexpected." A heavy silence fell over the bridge as the crew grappled with the implications. They had stumbled upon something far more complex than a simple territorial dispute. "Sir," Parker called out, her voice tight with excitement, "I'm getting a response on the communication channel." "It's from the ship we defended." Sullivan took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. "This is it, people. First official contact. Let's make it count. Put them through, Parker." The view screen flickered, and for the first time, the crew of the Expanse found themselves face to face with an alien being. The creature was humanoid, with smooth purple skin and large, expressive eyes that seemed to convey a mix of caution and curiosity. Sullivan stepped forward, his voice clear and measured. "I am Captain Guy Sullivan of the ship SS Expanse. We detected your distress and intervened in your conflict. We seek to understand." The alien's response came through the ship's speakers, the AI translating with careful precision. "I am Zarthal, lead scholar of the Lysithian Research Collective. Our initial defensive response was a standard protocol for unexpected encounters." Sullivan recognized the underlying tension. "Your reaction suggests previous encounters that were not peaceful. Can you elaborate?" Zarthal's form shifted slightly, a gesture the AI interpreted as a sign of vulnerability. "In our exploration of this sector, we have learned that unexpected encounters often result in conflict." Dr. Silva leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "You were studying us, even as we were studying you?" "Precisely," Zarthal confirmed. "Our research involves mapping unknown territories and understanding potential intelligent species. Your intervention in our conflict was unprecedented. Sullivan maintained a diplomatic tone. We have a principle. When we encounter beings in danger, we offer assistance. This is part of our cultural protocol. The alien's response carried a mix of caution and emerging respect. Such an approach is rare among spacefaring civilizations. Most would observe, but not engage. As they spoke, the ship's AI worked in the background, establishing a basic communication framework. Subtle adjustments were made to translation algorithms, improving the nuance and clarity of their exchange. We detected significant aggression from the vessel pursuing you, Sullivan probed. What was the nature of your conflict? Zarthal's response was measured. A fundamental disagreement about research methodologies and territorial exploration rights. Our pursuers believed we were violating established protocols by investigating this sector. The conversation continued, each side carefully revealing information while maintaining a careful distance. They were not just exchanging words, but establishing the first tentative steps of interspecies communication. A sound emerged from the alien communication system, something the AI translated as a form of acknowledgement, perhaps even respect. As their dialogue progressed, the initial tension began to dissolve. They were no longer just an unknown threat to each other, but potential partners in the vast, unexplored universe. We have established a basic communication protocol, Zarthal stated. Would your species be interested in further dialogue? Sullivan's response was immediate and resolute. Absolutely. We have much to learn from each other. What's the extent of damage to your vessel? Sullivan asked directly, his eyes scanning the holographic displays showing the alien ship's structural integrity. Zarthal's response came precisely translated by the ship's AI. Comprehensive systems failure across multiple quantum communication matrices. Primary propulsion quantum entanglement has been 87% disrupted. Hull breaches in 3 primary sectors. Our research vessel is critically compromised. The damage visualization materialized on the Expanse's main screen, a complex 3-dimensional representation revealing intricate technological vulnerabilities. Fracture lines spread across the alien vessel's hull like delicate spider webs, each breach representing potential catastrophic failure. Dr. Silva stepped forward, her curiosity burning bright. May we conduct a detailed diagnostic scan? Our systems might provide insights into repair strategies that your current protocols might have overlooked. Thompson was already running preliminary compatibility analyses. His console flickered with complex holographic representations comparing human and alien technological infrastructures, revealing unexpected structural resonances that defied conventional understanding. Fascinating, Thompson muttered, zooming into microscopic technological interfaces. Their power distribution networks share quantum adaptive principles, remarkably similar to our latest experimental designs. We might develop hybrid repair protocols that could improve our understanding of interstellar engineering. The alien's form shifted subtly, a gesture the AI interpreted as technological intrigue mixed with cautious assessment. Quantum-level sensors detected minute electromagnetic fluctuations accompanying Zarthal's movements, suggesting a biological communication system far more complex than traditional verbal exchanges. Your immediate offer of assistance contradicts our predictive models about emerging spacefaring civilizations, Zarthal communicated. The translation carried nuanced undertones of surprise and calculated evaluation. Sullivan's response carried a blend of pride and pragmatism. Humanity doesn't just observe problems, we solve them. And we do so with a commitment that goes beyond mere technological intervention. Grant approached Sullivan, speaking in a low, strategic tone. Sir, sharing our repair technologies could expose sensitive human capabilities. Our quantum stabilization techniques are still classified. Sometimes, Sullivan responded, his voice firm and resolute, demonstrating our values matters more than protecting every technical secret. Our technological capabilities mean nothing if we aren't willing to use them to help others. The damage to the alien vessel was a testament to the brutal efficiency of their attackers. Multiple hull breaches created intricate patterns of destruction that would have rendered most ships permanently inoperable. Critical quantum communication systems hung by theoretical threads, their complex networks barely maintaining structural coherence. Where other species might see insurmountable challenges, the Expanse's crew saw an engineering puzzle waiting to be systematically dismantled and reconstructed. Over the next several hours, human and alien engineers engaged in a delicate technological ballet that transcended traditional communication barriers. Thompson's team developed innovative repair strategies that merged human adaptive engineering with alien quantum stabilization techniques. Zarthal observed the process with growing fascination. Your collaborative approach demonstrates technological flexibility beyond our most advanced computational predictions. Most species would hesitate, analyze, debate. You act. Dr. Silva seized the opportunity. We're interested in understanding the broader context of your mission. Your pursuit seems more complex than standard exploratory protocols. The aliens' response carried multiple layers of meaning, each translation revealing deeper complexities. In our extensive mapping of this galactic sector, we have never encountered an intelligent civilization. Your star system's region has been considered a void, unexplored and presumed lifeless. Zarthal's holographic display shifted, highlighting a region of space that encompassed Earth's solar system. This entire quadrant, the alien explained, has been classified as a non-inhabited zone in our galactic research databases. You are quite literally the first intelligent species we've encountered in this vast region. Sullivan's breath caught momentarily. First contact, he whispered, then louder. We're humanity's first ambassadors to an alien civilization. Dr. Silva, her mind racing, stepped forward. Do you realize the historical significance of this moment? We are not just making first contact. We're proving humanity's existence to an entire galactic research network. Sullivan leaned forward, the implications hitting him. Are you saying humanity is the first known intelligent life in this entire sector? Precisely, Zarthal confirmed. Our research collective operates within intricate galactic networks. We map unexplored regions, assess emerging technological civilizations, and maintain delicate knowledge distribution equilibriums. That's why we've never found anyone before, Sullivan said, recognizing the moment's profound significance. And our unexpected intervention has disrupted those established protocols. Significantly, Zarthal confirmed. Your actions introduce variables our predictive models cannot easily categorize. Intervention driven by ethical considerations rather than strategic advantages. This is unprecedented. As repair operations progressed, a broader narrative emerged. This wasn't just a random research vessel. It was a critical component of a complex, hierarchical system of galactic exploration and knowledge management. Repair protocols at 73% completion, Thompson reported. We're stabilizing their quantum communication matrix using a hybrid algorithmic approach that combines our adaptive engineering with their quantum entanglement principles. Zarthal's next communication carried significant weight. Our research collective has specific protocols for introducing emerging species to broader galactic contexts. Your intervention today has significantly accelerated those protocols. Sullivan recognized an opportunity. We're prepared to learn. What can you tell us about this galactic community? Before Zarthal could respond, Sullivan turned to Parker. Establish a secure communication channel with Earth Command. Priority 1 encryption. Parker's fingers danced across her console, establishing the critical link that would connect humanity's first extraterrestrial encounter with their home planet. Moments later, the communication channel opened. Sullivan's voice was steady, professional, but underlying. It was an unmistakable sense of historic moment. Sir, this is Captain Guy Sullivan of the SS Expanse. I have some news. We've confirmed that we are definitely not alone in the universe anymore. Hey there again. I'm glad you've come so far. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. This is really important to the channel. Really important. And I have one more thing for you. I've chosen another video for you to watch. Just click the card here, or here if you want the whole playlist. See you there.